Okay, so thank you again for being here, Dr. Lucas Graff from the Grad College. We're going to talk about graduation forms. So over to you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lucas Graff. I'm one of the RPC coordinators in the Graduate College. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the forms that are required typically for graduation. But just know that, as I go through these forms, not all of them are going to be required by you specifically. Each of our programs have different required forms. Some only require the plan of study. Some require the plan of study and the culminating experience results form. It just kind of depends on what you have. But this is what you're seeing on the screen. You can't see, right? Like the Grad Rebel Gateway.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So this is what one of our graduate assistants allowed us to use their Grad Rebel Gateway. So this is what you should see when you log in. It will be specific to you. So it'll have information about like your plan, your program, and then contact information down in this area. So to view like your required forms, you're going to want to click on the Forms tab. And then this will basically bring you to all of the forms that are going to be required for your program. You can see this person is at a PhD program, so they do have more forms. So if you are in a master's program or something like that, you might have less. Um, so the appointment of advisory committee form, this, if you are doing a thesis or dissertation, this is going to let the graduate college know who is on your committee, and then who needs to sign forms as we continue through like your um, through your progress. Sorry. Um, if you're not finding someone, it should automatically choose the people that you can choose from as far as who is on your committee. If you are not seeing that person or a certain person on the committee form, you will want to contact the graduate college and let us know. We can look into it. They may not have status, approved status, to sit on your committee. And so we can check and look into that for you. But most of the faculty know what they can and cannot like sit on, if they can sit on a PhD or if they can only sit on masters, stuff like that. So the plan of study form, this is going to be a form that all of you are going to have to submit at one point. And so it comes in two parts. So part one is already preloaded into the Grad Rebel Gateway. I'm not going to click on this because it would show you how does personal information. So I'm not going to click on that. Um, but basically, if you click on create a new form, this will pull up all of your information. So your NG ID, your plan, your program, who needs to sign the form, who your advisor is, stuff like that. So the part two, you're going to grab from what is called the degrees directory. And so I just Google searched UNLV degrees directory right here, and it's the first thing that pops up. There is a link on the plan of study part one. So if you click on that, it'll just open it up in a new tab. So this is where you're going to want to search for your degree. You don't need to search like everything, like the exact phrasing. I would recommend steering away from that. You're going to want to search more kind of like let's say you're in teacher education. So you might want to just search like education. And then you can kind of look to see what the programs are, because it's going to pull up a lot. Or if you're like, let's say you're in business, you can just kind of search business and it will bring up all of the different degrees. So we'll just use the Masters of Business Administration as an example because they have a lot of different subplans. So to grab the part two, it's a Word document. You'll go ahead and click on whatever your degree is. And then this is going to bring up a lot of information about your degree. Over here on this Jump To section, you'll see documents and downloads. This is the section where you're going to grab the part two. So if you click on that, it'll bring you down to like you'll see contacts and then you'll see documents and downloads. This may have a few different options. You can see here for like MBA students, it has all of the different sub-plans. So you'll want to find the plan that works specifically to you. So let's say it's finance, and then you'll click on whatever your concentration or whatever your program is. And then this will pull up all of the plans of studies for each catalog year. You can use whatever catalog year you were enrolled in courses. So let's say you were admitted fall of 2021, you could use the 21-22, the 22-23, and the 23-24. It just kind of depends on what kind of requirements you were following. So you'll just want to, because sometimes programs do make changes between between catalog years. And sometimes they're major changes. So you'll just want to make sure that you're following the correct plan. If you're not sure what catalog to use, you can reach out to the graduate college or RPC coordinator, or you can talk to your graduate coordinator or your faculty advisor. They should be able to tell you. Does anyone have any questions about the plan of study? Yes.
If you already submitted your plan of study and it's been approved, will it come up again when you do your final grad check?
So the only reason that we would have you resubmit it is if you took courses that are different than what are on your plan of study. So if we already have something on file for you and it shows approved, don't worry about it until we tell you otherwise.
What about audits? Does that count too, if you audited courses then?
No, because the audit, you're not actually using that towards your degree requirements. So it doesn't need to go on your plan of study, but it will show on your transcript, which is fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. So when you download this, you'll see it'll download a Word document. And then you'll basically want to open it up. Okay, so then you will have this a plan of study that kind of looks like this. You'll basically just want to input like all of the credits and the grade, and then let's say the semester that you received, that you finished the course in. You'll just want to input it like this. If you're currently taking the course, you'll just leave the grade blank and then just put in that you're taking it this semester, and we'll fill that in for you at once we confer your degree at the end of the semester. You might also notice some students will have things like um, the advancement to doctoral candidacy form or like a prospectus approval form. This is going to be done after you complete your proposal defense, or after you basically get the okay to complete your study. If it doesn't show up in your GRWB gateway, don't worry about it. It's not a form that you'll need to submit. The culminating experience results form, again, it's not required by every single program, but it is required by most. This form just lets us know that you've completed your thesis, you've completed your dissertation, or some type of like doctoral project or master's, capstone, or professional paper. Usually, if you do have to write a document, you are going to have a culminating experience results form. If you are doing a thesis or dissertation, you will need to upload your authenticate report, the first page that shows your overall similarity. If you have questions about the authenticate report, we're not going to talk about it today, but contact your RPC coordinator. We can help you through it, help you through kind of getting that information. There are a few other forms. Does anyone have any questions about the required forms right now? No? Okay, great. There are a few additional forms that I'd like to make note of. One would be the appeal form. This is if you are going to appeal any type of university policy or program policy. So like some programs require you to get a certain grade in a course, and if you get below that grade, you can't use that course. However, you can appeal that decision to see if you could use that course. I don't know what the likelihood of that being approved is, but it is an option that all students, all graduate students do have. Um, if you do have a committee, and you want to make changes to the committee because maybe someone left UNLV or they retired or you're just not really getting along with that person, you can always make a change to your committee form. You wouldn't resubmit a new committee form, you would ask to change that committee form. So this form will ask you who are you removing, and then also who are you adding to the form. And it's pretty straightforward, but it can be kind of complex depending on how many people you have kind of moving around to different positions. So if you're not sure how to fill out that form, just give us a call. We can walk you through it on the phone, or we can kind of explain it through an email, whatever is going to work best for you. Um, and then, yeah, and then there are some other forms in here, but they're kind of more special circumstances. So I'm not going to go into those too much. Does anyone have any questions about the forms? Or about like process for graduation, I guess. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what else do we have to do, if we're getting ready to graduate? Is there another form?
So have you applied for graduation through my
No.
UNLV?
No, not yet. I'm planning to in the summer.
Okay, yeah. So you'll just want to make sure you apply for graduation, and that is actually through your My UNLV. I believe if you click on the enrollment tile, that will bring up a little on the sidebar, it will have an option to apply for graduation. It's about 3 clicks. Are any of you doing a thesis or dissertation? Yes? Okay. So there are additional steps, so I'll go through those as well. After you defend your thesis or dissertation, the next step that you're going to want to do, actually, I'll kind of pull up some stuff as well. Um, if you Google UNLV thesis and dis, it'll bring up this thesis and dissertation guidelines. This is going to be a great resource for you, because it basically has like information on every single step of what you're going to do. So if you've already started writing, that's fine, and you already have a document. But one of the things I would recommend looking into is the organization of your thesis and dissertation, because your document does need to be formatted in a very specific way. So your cover page needs to look a specific way. If you have an acknowledgements page, it needs to look a specific way. Even the numbering itself has to be very specific. And so there are a lot of different guides on here that will help you through it. I recently graduated last spring, so I understand that this is very difficult because I tried to do it to a document after I started, and it took me a little bit to get it. So if you do need help, just like our thesis and this team is here to help. They do have um, office hours and stuff, and I would highly recommend taking advantage of those. But there is a manual that is specific for like margins and page numbering. So I would highly recommend utilizing this. It will really help as you create your document and as you add, appendices and different things like that to your document. And then let's see. So after you defend, you're probably going to have some type of oh, there's also a checklist here as well. This is also really helpful when you are reviewing your format, because this is what our thesis and dissertation team are going to use when they are reviewing your formatting. So if you utilize this and make sure that yes, you can click yes on every single one of these, and there is a lot, um, then you can kind of fly through the formatting process, because sometimes it does take students about 3 or 4 weeks, up to like a month or two, in order to get everything formatted correctly. So do make sure that you're aware of this and kind of what all of it takes, because it is quite a bit. Um, so I talked about the Authenticate report. Here's some information as well. So when you submit it to the Graduate College for format review, there's going to be a submission website, and that's under number 10, format review. If you just click on this, it'll take you, you can see I already submitted, but if you have not submitted, it would actually show you the form. Um, And then there is kind of some information about like how to get your stuff approved. So basically the steps are, after you defend, You will make all of the adjustments that you did to your that your committee requires. And then once you've received your approved final document from your committee, you will submit it to the graduate college for format review. Once your formatting has been approved, you will receive an email saying, congratulations, it's been approved. Us in the graduate college, we will build your approval page for you and insert it into your document. Once that is done, we will email you your final document, and then with instructions on how to upload that document to ProQuest. And then all you would need to do is upload. And just so you know, like throughout the year or throughout the semester, the RPC team, we conduct what are called degree checks. And so we will have all of this information in an email when we're actually in the semester when you're graduating. So if you are a PhD student or a master's doing a thesis student, and you have not received that email and you are graduating this semester, please contact your RPC coordinator, because we will send you this with all of the links and everything that you need in order to complete all of these steps. If you're graduating in the summer or in the fall, we'll send you those during the summer and the fall. I know I kind of threw a lot at you, so if you need me to repeat anything, please let me know and I will repeat that for you. Yes.
Can you just repeat what you just said about
About
what are we expecting from our RPC coordinator again?
Yeah, so it's an email and it's called a degree check email. And in the subject, it will actually say degree check. Um, and it has information about all of the requirements that you specifically need to complete. So it is very specific to you as an individual because when you look into your profile for pretty much everything that could stop you from graduating, and we just let you know up front. So typically what we see for students who are doing a dissertation or a thesis, typically what we see is you need to complete your coursework that you are enrolled in for this semester, and then here are the thesis and dissertation steps that you need to complete. And so it will have every single thing in there that I just talked about after you defend. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that
Okay.
gets sent out after you apply for graduation?
Yes, correct. It gets sent out after you apply for graduation. Just know if you are graduating in the summer, we're in a weird space because we're trying to complete all of our degree conferrals for the fall semester or for the spring semester, and we have all of the new summer degree checks to do. So it's a lot for us to do in a very short amount of time. But we do try to do the PhD students first, because y'all's deadlines are sometimes super early in the semester. And we want to make sure that you have all of those deadlines super early in the semester. So if we get closer to like the middle of July and you haven't received that degree check, just email your RPC coordinator asking what you need to do to graduate, and we'll just do one for you and send it to you. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions or concerns or anything you need me to say again? Yes.
What if you applied for spring graduation, but you're not going to make that April 8th deadline? I've applied, I've filled out an appeal form to walk because I'm going to finish very close
Uh-huh.
to that May graduation. But how do I know there's something I need to do to say, I guess, like what I'm trying to figure out is like, do I wait to get the appeal letter, or do I have to fill out something to say I'm not going to graduate till summer?
So that is great to know. We will probably notice it when we discuss your appeal. And so how we handle this situation is we actually give our graduate students one free rollover for their graduation application. So I'm guessing, is this your first time applying for graduation?
Yes.
Okay, so we would actually at that point roll over your graduation application to summer at no additional cost to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And just know that like you might want to look into the automatic enrollment waiver as well. Because if you're like close to being done, and I don't have because I don't have the exact due dates on hand right now. But one of the policies in the graduate college is that you do have to be enrolled in at least 3 graduate level credits the semester you're graduating. So if you do end up rolling over, you do qualify for what's called an automatic enrollment waiver. Whereas if you do all of the things for your thesis and dissertation within like 3 weeks of the semester, you would not need to enroll in courses.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
yes, thank you.
Yeah, and if you just email your graduate coordinator asking or not the graduate coordinator, your RPC coordinator, what those due dates are, we can give them to you. But we do send them to you when we roll over your graduation. We send you what we call a did not graduate email, just letting you know kind of what happened to your graduation application, if you need to apply again, or if we rolled it over, and if you qualify for that enrollment waiver.
Okay,
Yep.
so I guess what I'm hearing is that I'm sorry, this is specific to me.
No, you're.
I'm the same thing though, so.
Let me just talk about me. So I guess that I'm gonna wait to hear from the appeal to know what my next step is. I shouldn't try to do a next step before I wait to hear from the appeal.
Yeah, go ahead and wait for the appeal because it's probably something that we'll reach out to you about anyway.
Okay.
Because we when we're talking about these appeals, we look to see who has an application in for what semester, and we try to figure out like what's going on. Are they not going to make it? You know, and if you included that into your appeal that you're not sure if you're going to make that deadline, then we can always move your graduation application over. And we can always wait even till the end of the semester to do that, and you'll still qualify for the automatic enrollment waiver.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But the guideline is 3 weeks within the end of the semester.
Yeah, I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks into the new semester that you would need to at least defend by. And I believe, don't quote me on this because I don't know if it's 100% correct, but I believe it's June 7th is the day that you would need to defend by in order to qualify for the automatic enrollment waiver for the summer semester.
Thank you.
Yeah, I believe it's June 7th, but we can always get you those dates, get you all of the dates.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody.
No, you're welcome. I have the dates if you want them. That's what I was trying to tell you to help you out. I've talked to my RPC, so yeah.
Oh, you have them. Okay, great.
Yeah, they told me that it's either 2 dates, I think around May, I can defend by the May 8th, I think, or June 7th.
Okay.
Great,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
great work, doctor.